In His love we're truly blessed. Hold on tight and feel the zest. Kingdom blessed is simply the best. In His love we're truly blessed.
Okay, so we're diving deep today into some fascinating stuff you sent over about spiritual growth, specifically in the Christian faith.
Yeah, it's a really rich topic, you
Right,
know?
definitely. And we're going to explore, those main themes
hmm
and the scriptural references you highlighted and how this all connects back, to your own personal journey.
I think it's amazing, even if you're not coming from a Christian background, a lot of these ideas about transformation, facing those challenges, and finding strength inside yourself, well, they're pretty universal.
For sure.
So we'll look at how these concepts are presented and what we can all take away from them.
Absolutely. One of the ideas that really stuck out to me when I was looking at this was, this idea that even when you don't really feel it, God is guiding you.
Yeah,
That's a pretty powerful thought, right?
it is.
Especially when you're in those moments when you feel uncertain or you feel lost. It's a really comforting thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings a feeling of surrender, right? Like trusting in something bigger than yourself, even if you don't have all the pieces.
Yeah.
It's almost like stepping off a cliff and trusting that a net's going to appear.
Right. Right. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And that leads us to this other really interesting idea, this idea of transformation,
Yeah.
this journey of becoming more like God.
hmm
And the source that you sent over so beautifully ties this back to 2 Corinthians 3.18.
Right.
And it talks about going from glory to glory.
Right.
What do you think these glories represent in a person's life?
Well, I think it's such a powerful metaphor.
Yeah.
Each stage of growth,
Right.
each challenge that you overcome, each layer that you shed of your old self,
Yeah.
it reveals a new glory, a
Huh.
deeper understanding, a richer experience of life. So it's this continuous evolution,
Yeah.
a refining of, refining yourself. You're not just sitting back and waiting.
Right.
You're actively taking part in your own evolution.
Absolutely. And it made me think about that idea of cleansing
Yeah.
or pruning
Uh-huh.
that one of the excerpts you sent over mentioned.
Yeah.
It's like we're constantly shedding those parts that don't serve us anymore.
Right.
Those bad habits and those patterns that are really holding us back from stepping into all that abundance that's there for us.
Exactly. It's about letting go of the old and embracing the new. And that process, shedding those things, it often comes with challenges. And your source calls this spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
And, Ephesians 6.12 gives this really vivid image. It talks about wrestling not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces.
Wow. That sounds intense.
Yeah.
And it really makes you think about, what are those spiritual forces? What could those represent in our lives?
Yeah, it could be negative thoughts, it could be limiting beliefs, it could even be those patterns of behavior that we keep repeating, and they just keep us stuck, those internal battles that just feel so much bigger than ourselves. Almost like some invisible force is holding you back.
Right.
Have you ever felt that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think that's what makes this whole idea of spiritual warfare so relevant.
Yeah.
That's just this, this battle that's happening somewhere far away. It's those everyday struggles that we're all dealing with.
Exactly.
But, the good news is, and you highlighted this in the material you sent over, is that, we're not alone in this.
Yeah. No, we're not alone.
You don't have to fight alone.
Right. We have help. And, 2 Timothy 1.7 reminds us that we're actually equipped with some pretty amazing tools.
Right.
We have power, we have love, and we have a sound mind.
Yeah.
And those are really, truly powerful tools for facing any kind of challenge,
Totally.
whether it's spiritual or just part of life.
Those are like gifts.
They are gifts.
Being able to face your fears with that sense of power inside yourself
Mhm.
and guided by love and with a clear mind, that's how you win.
Absolutely. And that feeling of empowerment is emphasized, even more in Luke 10.19.
Okay.
And there it actually talks about having dominion over those negative forces. And it uses this really striking image of treading on snakes and scorpions,
Wow.
and that symbolizes our ability to rise above those things that are trying to threaten, our well-being.
Wow. That's really powerful imagery.
It is.
And it really makes you think about, what are those snakes and scorpions in your own life?
Mhm.
Maybe it's a relationship that isn't healthy for you, or it's a bad habit,
Yeah.
or it's that voice inside your head that tells you you're not good enough.
Yeah. That self-doubt.
Yeah, and this verse is telling us we can overcome these things.
Absolutely. It's all about claiming that power that we have within us,
Mm-hmm.
recognizing that we actually have a lot more control than we often think.
Right.
It's a call to action,
Yeah.
To face those challenges head on because we are not powerless.
We're not powerless. This has been such a deep and insightful exploration. We've gone on this journey with this idea of God always being there, to guide us. And we talked about this amazing process of transformation, this spiritual growth.
Mm.
And we talked about the incredible tools that we have to deal with all those challenges that life throws at us.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that even when we feel lost, we're not alone. And we have the strength we need to overcome any obstacle.
And I hope, this deep dive has made you think about your own personal journey.
Yeah.
What are those snakes and scorpions in your life? And how can you use that power, that love, and that sound mind that you have inside of you to overcome them?
That's such a great question. I hope everyone listening really takes some time to reflect on that.
Yeah, me too.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Mm.
I'm so glad you could join us for this deep dive,
Yeah, it was great.
and we hope you'll join us next time.
Definitely. Looking forward to it.
All right, take care, everyone.
See